100 naira ko. Esamba ko.
Good morning, viewers. Welcome to another exciting edition of the program Lagos This Morning. Today being the 23rd of February 2023 is just 2 days to the general election, and we'll be discussing about news updates in Lagos State and also across the Federation. I am Olajide Taufik Olamide.
I am Adeni Adela. Welcome to Lagos This Morning.
All right, let's take a look at the headlines for the day. Politicians stockpiling old notes to buy vote. Bawa. President Muhammadu Buhari pledges to be neutral in the general election. The IGP orders restriction of movement on election days. On Naira protest, governors under probe over inciting utterances. Tinubu, Obi, Atiku, Kwakwanso, others sign second peace accord. Enugu AAC dumps Showore, endorses Peter Obi for president. Enugu Labour Party senatorial candidate, several others murdered. All right, let's take a look at the news in details.
Politicians stockpiling old notes to buy votes. Bawa. The chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Abdulrashid Bawa, on Wednesday raised the alarm over alleged plans by politicians to buy votes in kind and cash ahead of Saturday's general election. He made this claim during an interview on Channel's television election program, the 2023 verdict. The FCC chairman will confirm that all of its officers had been deployed to monitor the polls across 36 states. And the Federal Capital Territory urged citizens to report vote buying, selling, and other evidence of financial malpractice. Bawa further revealed that public officials, corrupt businessmen, and some governors were allegedly hoarding old and new Naira notes with the intent to buy votes during the presidential election scheduled to hold on Saturday.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of governors flying out of the blocks to call out Buhari against the Naira scarcity and the likes. But we notice that the masses that are bearing the brunt of the Naira scarcity, it's not possible for any politician to say that he doesn't have any new Naira notes with him. The person would be lying. But we, the masses, are now finding a way out of this mess with bank transfers. Even some have started doing trade by barter and the likes, and the people are not out there protesting anymore. So Bawa said he has found out that majority of these politicians, and there is no way they can actually arrest them because they have immunity as sitting governors, as senators and the likes. Until they leave the power, you can't actually just arrest them like that. It's not possible. So majority of these politicians, though there are good ones out there who are not ready to buy votes and the likes, but majority of them, they actually want to buy votes, because if some political parties, politicians are the ones actually pushing for the CBN to print more notes. Some in other parties, why are they not talking? That means it is not affecting them. And most of the time we have realized that politicians only care about what is of their own interest.
What is affecting them?
Or what will truncate their political gains as well.
Exactly.
So we've seen recent issues and updates in the past whereby they didn't turn up like this. But on this one, even other APC governors calling out Buhari to say that this administration is nothing to write home about. And they're still expecting people to now still support the same party which owns this administration. It's just something else. But I believe that on the election day, we would see a lot of vote buying. We would see it because most people out there have their phones, so they'll be able to record them and actually share it on social media space. We would see it, but it is left for the security agencies to actually, apprehend these vote buyers and the likes. And the ones they've apprehended in the past, what did they do to them? Nobody knows. And even people out there, politicians normally, Nigerian politicians will come to you to buy vote. It is now left for you to either collect the money and do their bidding, or collect the money and
And vote
do
for
your own
exactly
bidding. Just vote for your own conscience and
conscience.
vote wisely.
All right. President Buhari pledges to be neutral in the general election. President Buhari has pledged to be neutral during the February 25 and March 11 general elections at all levels and has appealed to all candidates to respect the choice of voters and accept the results of the elections as announced by the INEC. The president also said that at the second signing of the National Peace Accord by political parties and presidential candidates of the 2023 general elections organized by the National Peace Committee on Wednesday, February 22. He said, I implore the candidates contesting in this election at all levels to respect the choice of voters and accept the result of the elections as announced by INEC, the agency empowered by law to do so. Any aggrieved candidate should resort to established judicial processes, and we must have the confidence to trust our legal systems. I once ask again the candidates to abide by the spirit and letter of the accord they have signed onto today.
Yeah, we can see that President Muhammadu Buhari is not really tilting towards anybody's support, though some people say he's tilting towards Atiku and the likes. But with this Naira design, that politicians have actually jumped out of their skin to tackle Buhari, most people are now having this feeling that Buhari is trying to play things on a level ground. Like, he doesn't want any candidate to win this election because he has more money to spend than the other candidate. So now, if the playing ground is level for everybody, if INEC or the federal government doesn't support a particular candidate, like show full support for the candidate, then I believe that the election the election results should actually, bring out the people's choice. Should actually produce the people's choice. The people's choice should actually prevail, because Buhari so far has not really, he's in the APC, and Asiwaju Bola Tinubu as well. He's a presidential aspirant under the APC as well. So normally the people will feel like, okay, Buhari is supposed to give support and actually, give a soft landing to Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. But with the Naira design so far now, and it is causing rancor both in the APC and among the ruling class as well, which are the governors, the senators, and the president as well. So I believe that President Muhammadu Buhari is trying to show that he can actually level the playing ground for everybody. Because majority of the kind of card they play during election time is either vote buying, or they play the ethnic card or the religious card. And they noticed that the religious card have really not been working so far so good like that, and the ethnic card as well has not been working, because the youth, due to the NSAS protest and the likes, whereby the youth have united even across ethnic lines, across religious lines, whereby the Christians actually protected the Muslims while they were praying, and the Muslims did same back to the Christians. There were no discrimination of religion then. So now they actually tried to divide the people on religion line. They were unable to divide them. Now the last resort is to buy votes. But it's left for the people to either sell their vote or buy the vote. But I hope, and I hope that the people out there, if they give you money, you can choose to collect and you can choose not to collect. But if you want to collect it, there's nothing bad in it. But just make sure that you vote for the right candidate. You vote for someone who is not trying to buy your vote. Because I would always say this thing: anybody who tries to buy your vote doesn't like you. Is buying your future and both the future of your unborn kids as well. That's what it's doing. It doesn't like you, so don't vote for anybody. The best candidate for you to vote for, the best candidate for Nigeria, is someone who is not trying to buy your vote, because that person is not seeing it as a do or die affair. Anybody who buys your vote, if you spend 1 trillion naira to win the election, he would actually collect this money back immediately he becomes the president. So at the detriment of the masses.
All right, the next one here is IGP orders restriction of movements on election days. 48 hours to the commencement of the first part of the 2023 general elections, the presidential and the National Assembly election, scheduled to hold on Saturday, 25th of February 2023, across all states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory, FCT. The IGP has ordered restriction of all forms of movement beginning from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. on election days. The restriction covers vehicular movements on roads, waterways, and other forms of transportation, with the exception of those on essential services such as INEC officials, electoral observers, ambulances responding to medical emergencies, firefighters, etc. Wow.
Yeah, I think it's a good one from the IGP. It's a normal thing to do.
But people can go outside, right?
Restriction of movement
Like just for vehicular.
for everybody. Just go to your polling unit, make sure you vote, then go back home from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. So you can actually still go out maybe around 6:30, 7, 8, 9, 10. But by 12 p.m. to 6 p.m., you're not supposed to be out there just, walking in there. It's for the people's safety because there might be, electoral violence and the likes. And, we wouldn't want to lose anybody to this, to this election season. So it is just for the benefit of the masses. If you have anything you want to do out there, from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m., just suspend it for now. If it is not about emergency, just suspend it or make sure you do that thing from early morning around 6 a.m. till 12. But from that 12 p.m., just, stay indoors. It is for your safety.
That's
I think it's a good one from the IGP as well.
Okay. All right, Naira protest. Governors under probe over inciting utterances. Ahead of Saturday's presidential and National Assembly elections, President Muhammadu Buhari convened the National Security Council NSA meeting yesterday with the Inspector General of Police, IGP Usman Alkali Baba, revealing that the force is investigating individuals, including state governors, whose utterances were considered to have incited citizens to riot over the Naira redesign policy of the federal government. Briefing correspondent in the company of the Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami. After the meeting presided by President Buhari at the Presidential Villa, Abuja, the IGP, however, said that despite the investigation, the police could not prosecute the state's chief executive because they enjoy immunity. Recall that some governors, led by the Nasir El-Rufai of Kaduna State, had openly denigrated the Naira swap policy, asking their citizens not to comply with the deadline expiration of the legality of the old 500 Naira and 1,000 Naira notes.
Yeah, I think those governors need to be called to order.
But they are enjoying immunity, so nothing can be done.
Exactly. I think that is why maybe there should even be a kind of review in the law, whereby once you start inciting violence, even as a sitting governor, you should be called to order.
Exactly.
By the federal government. You should be called to order, or by the Supreme Court or something, because you as a governor is supposed to be calming the society down, calm your state, not inciting the kind of hatred towards the central government, which is the federal government, or even to your president, for the fact that this person is in your political party, and this person is even from your zone as well, a northerner like you. Same thing from your political party as well. So there's political line there, there's religion line there, there's everything. This person is just like your brother. The only difference is that the person is not your direct sibling or something. So I think they should be called to order, maybe even be invited to the DSS or something. They should let them know, because how can the president give an order, then you as governor, you're going against the order, and you want your candidate to come into power. And once your candidate becomes the president, will any other governor be able to challenge this person? It's not even right for any governor to come out to say, okay, this is what will happen, when the governor does not have 100% autonomy over what happens in his state. I think it is wrong from them. It is wrong. It can be out of emotions or fear of losing the election due to the inability to use maybe the money they've stockpiled somewhere.
I don't think, okay, it might be fear of losing the election, and also they feel like there's a betrayal kind of, like what Ganduge said. He said Buhari is trying to like erase something that was done for him to make him emerge as the president.
Yeah.
He didn't want someone to emerge as the president, just like they helped him. Like
well, I don't know how they actually, I don't know how they played the game per se, as in how they actually brought him into power. Maybe through there's no concrete evidence that it was vote buying or something. There's no concrete evidence. It's just like allegation. But there are some people that you bring into power through a wrong means. But these people, it doesn't mean that these people are bad people. This person might be a good person, but you brought this person into power through the wrong way, probably through the back door, and the person gets into the system and realizes that this system is so corrupt and so bad. And it feels like, if you that brought me here, if you come into this system, forget it, this system will crash. And that person would just try to either, persuade you not to come into the system, or try to block you from coming into the system, or try to remove those things that you used to bring him in negatively. Those negative things, it will remove it, then leave the positive ones. If you can now, and I think what President Muhammadu Buhari is trying to do now is that maybe what the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, what he said in Abeokuta, that he made Buhari the president, like after God, he made him the president, like single-handedly. Maybe Buhari is now feeling like, okay, since you made me the president, then single-handedly make yourself the president. If you can single-handedly make yourself the president without my support, then that means I can accept that you made me the president. I think maybe Buhari, he might want to play, a game of level playing ground as well. But the relationship being the fact that they are all in the APC together, the other governors will feel like he's working against them. Like he has a particular candidate he's supporting. When you are working against someone in politics, automatically, the person you are not working against, they feel like you're supporting the person automatically. So I think it might be a payback time from President Muhammadu Buhari, because for him to have said that, even the North entirely would feel offended. Because if you say anything now to a Southeastern elder, you would incur the anger of the Southeasterners. If you say something against a Southwest elder now, you would incur the wrath of the Southwesterners. Though it might not be all of them, but majority of them will feel like, no, you shouldn't have said that. Even for the fact that you are still in the same space, you are still in the same caucus, but it might be a payback time, and it might just be like, bro, Buhari is just trying to level everything, but by Saturday, we'll see how everything plays out.
Okay. Tinubu, Obi, Atiku, Kwankwaso, others signed second peace accord. Ahead of Saturday's election, political parties and their presidential candidates yesterday signed the second national peace accord, with a promise not only to ensure peaceful prose, but also to accept the outcome. The presidential candidates of the ruling All Progressive Congress, APC, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Labour Party presidential candidate, Mr. Peter Obi, People's Democratic Party, PDP, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, and of the New Nigeria's People's Party, NNP, Alhaji Musa Kwankwaso, signed the Peace Pact at the International Conference Center, Abuja. The event, which was the second in the series, was organized by the National Peace Committee, headed by the former head of state, General Abdulsalami Abubakar, retired, in conjunction with the Kuka Center.
Well, peace accord, from my understanding, I believe when a set of people, or when a country, when it's time for election, and you have to sign a peace accord, then that means there's no peace in the country.
There's no peace in the country.
Because if you have to sign peace accord that, okay, I would accept this thing, I would accept the outcome, I promise to allow this election go peacefully, free and fair and the likes, that means before you sign that peace accord, you don't have the intention of accepting the result. Because in a society where there is peace, you don't need any peace accord anymore, because they will know that, okay, everything, normally, it is always peaceful. But when you have to bring people together to, sign an agreement not to fight, not to do stuff, it actually has a kind of big message it's passing to the outside space of Nigeria, that there is no peace at all in the country. Because you even notice that, soldiers have been moving around and the likes. And Femi Falana came out to say that it is not the duty of soldiers to secure people during the election. It's the duty of the police force. But when it goes out of hand, that is when you bring in the military personnel. So this peace accord, from my point of view, it just shows that there is no peace at all.
There is no peace.
But what I believe is that on Saturday, the people would come out en masse. They will come out en masse to protect themselves and defend themselves against anything. Because I don't expect anything too big like that to happen on the election day, since there won't be vehicular movement, which means that majority of our military personnel would patrol on our roads. And it's not possible if you want to actually attack or disrupt a particular election, even if you have, explosives or, weapons that you want to use, you will convey them through the road. So by the time you start driving on the road, they will ask you, where are you going to? They will search your car. Even you wouldn't want to even drive, and on election day, you won't want to drive and be driving alongside military personnel. Just forget it that day. That is where you sleep. You might even end up in the barracks. Because if you are not a pressman, you are not the INEC official, you are not a military personnel, you're not a policeman, and you're just a normal citizen just driving around, moving around anyhow. After the IGP has said that there will be movement, then you have yourself to blame.
Whew, okay, on to the next one. Enugu AAC dumps Showore endorses Peter Obi. Omoyele Showore, the party's presidential candidate, has been dumped by the African Action Congress chapter in Enugu State. The statement was made by the party on Wednesday in Enugu State during a news conference. Kene Ogbodo, the AAC candidate for governor of Enugu State, told reporters that the party has endorsed Peter Obi, the Labour Party nominee for president in the 2023 election. He asserted that Showore, who is both the party chairman and the presidential candidate, had demonstrated himself to be an undemocratic and had thus prevented prospect for inclusivity.
How can you be the party chairman and the presidential candidate at the same time? No, no. Someone else has to. It's just like Tinubu being the presidential candidate and also being the party chairman. Abdullahi Adamu is the party chairman. Tinubu is the presidential candidate. Just like Ayu is the party chairman in PDP, then Atiku is the presidential candidate. You can't be the party chairman and presidential candidate. That means you are in charge of everything in the party. In fact, some people wouldn't know how much you've collected for the campaign fee, for how much you've collected from people to support your campaign. So it's just people, other people that are behind you or that are under you will feel like you're hiding a lot of things from them. And then you actually want to be everything in your party, then you're vying for the post of president. How do you want people to trust you when you can't trust other people to take up positions? Of course. So it's just something else. But the Enugu State AAC actually, bringing that structure into the Labour Party. I think they once said Labour Party doesn't have structure, but what God cannot do doesn't exist.
Exactly.
And also the ADC as well, bringing their structure into the Labour Party and the Boot Party too is a plus to the Labour Party, because Labour Party now is having the full support of the youth out there and the angry people who have seen Shege, and I believe that majority of Nigerians have seen Shege over the past years, even cutting across both the APC and the PDP administrations. There has been hardship in the land, except for the few maybe who are connected in one way or the other, or who are benefiting from the system. So it's a plus for the Labour Party, though there are other ones too who are supporting the PDP and the APC as well. But on Saturday, what I'm just predicting is that on Saturday, money will be put to shame. That's what I believe. Money. Anyone who is relying solely on winning the election by buying votes, I think the person should have everything by now. Maybe they should change their strategy. That's just it.
Okay, on the last one, Enugu Labour Party senatorial candidates, several others murdered. The Labour Party senatorial candidate for Enugu East Senatorial District, Mr. Oyibo Chukwu, has been murdered. This is coming about 3 days to the Presidential and National Assembly election. Police learned that it was set ablaze alongside other party members late Wednesday evening at Amechi Akunawa, Enugu South Local Government Area of Enugu State. Unidentified persons were said to have accosted them while riding in a Sienna vehicle and set the vehicle ablaze. About 5 persons were said to have been affected. There is no peace in the country, actually.
That's why they're signing peace accord.
That's why they are signing peace accord. Just like not few days, like 2 days.
48 hours.
48 hours to the election. And they are burning.
Yeah, they killed 5 people alongside the man. So, well, I think in the southeast, what is happening there is just not so good. And I don't think it is okay for anybody, for any person now in the southeast to actually be, killing his own kinsmen. So I believe that, those gunmen, I don't believe that they are from that region. I don't believe that they are from that region, because you can't be from a particular place and be, doing harm to your kinsmen there. There's this particular feeling you would have when you go and get to your place whereby the people speak the same language like you, they act like you, they talk like you. You feel this kind of connection to them. So I don't see any reason why someone would be causing unrest there. I believe that the unrest there is being motivated from outside that region. I don't know where it is being motivated from, but it is from outside the region, and they're just trying to create panic in the southeastern in the southeast day. I think they are trying to create panic so that on the election day the people would be afraid to come out to vote. And looking at the southeast, it is a stronghold for the presidential candidate of the Labour Party. So the attack might be motivated from somewhere else. I don't know where it is motivated from, but I believe that it is from the outside. It's not a good one, and I believe that our security forces would intensify their efforts in bringing peace during this election, both in the southeast, south, southwest, and all other regions in Nigeria as well. So our military personnel are out there. They are patrolling. They are doing what they know how to do best, and our prayers are with them as well, and the police force as well too. But so far so good in previous elections. We've noticed that our policemen, even if vote buying or violence during the election is going on, you just say that they will stand by the roadside. They won't do anything. I saw a particular video like that 2019 election, whereby those thugs were actually hijacking the ballot box, and then the officer was just standing there. I think that is why they actually brought this military personnel into the picture, because when a particular person that you are being assigned to do a particular duty and you don't carry it out judiciously, they would need to bring in someone that is even tougher or higher than you, or that doesn't have a connection, or that doesn't have a presumed connection with the people perpetrating the evil. So that's just it. I would just advise everyone, come out on Saturday. It is just 48 hours to Nigerians deciding their fate for the next 4 to 8 years. Is it going to be Peter Obi? Is it going to be Atiku or Tinubu? If that is left for you and me to decide on Saturday. Don't allow anybody to, don't be defeated, don't be intimidated, and don't be bought over. Anyone who gives you money or anything in form of either cash or kind for you to surrender your PVC or to surrender your vote, that person is doing you no harm. Let us first of all ask those people who sold their vote in 2011, what have they achieved with the vote selling? Have they built their houses out of the vote selling? No. What did they achieve? That money they gave to them, what did they use it to achieve? Nothing. In 2015, some people sold their votes. For how much? 5,000, 10,000 naira. Today, what is the worth of that 10,000 naira? What did they use the 10,000 naira to achieve? 2019 as well. So it is only a fool that would keep on doing the same thing and expect different results. You've sold your vote over the years. What did you achieve? Where has it led Nigeria to? It has propelled the elite and it has retrogressed the masses. So now, why don't you flip it over and do the opposite? When you do the opposite, you will surely see the opposite result of what has been going on. And if the opposite result should come into place, that means Nigeria will stop retrogressing, we will start progressing. So anybody who comes out to give you money and say, okay, just sell your vote to me, no. The person is not doing you any good. Tell the person, I've sold my vote in 2019, I sold my vote in 2015, I sold my vote in 2011, nothing worked. Now I am not selling my vote. So everyone should do well to come outside. If you don't have your PVC, don't worry, come out. By the time we have a high turnout, during the last election, it was just 35% of those who registered, like eligible voters that came out. Which means out of 10 people, just 3 came out. Now, if we can have about 80% of the people, to mean that out of 10 people, 8 came out.
I think people are going to come out this time around.
And if people come out, it will be hard for vote buying and rigging to even occur.
Exactly.
Because you will be there, everybody will be seeing it.
Everybody will be so vigilant, like, no.
And even if some people want to actually collect the money, majority of the people will talk against it. Like, take this money away. We don't even want. They might even, even if they want to collect, they might even rush you and quickly just collect the money from you. You can't shout thief on them and they'll feel like, where did you get this new note from when we can't get it? In fact, they would even be apprehended. Because when you go to the polling unit with a large sum of new notes, people will feel like, we can't get this new note. Where did you get this money from? That is where the questioning will start from. So come out en masse. Even if you don't have anything you're doing at all, just come out. There won't be violence, there won't be anything. If there are a huge amount of people there, you realize that during the EndSARS protest, until they brought in soldiers, the numbers of youth that were out on the streets couldn't couldn't make the touts or the thugs to stop them. Even after I saw a particular video where the thugs were being ferried in a particular bus like that, they actually ran away. Even the police officer couldn't suppress those youths because they were angry, and they were even fighting on behalf of the police officer as well.
Yeah.
Until they later now brought in military to truncate all the effort as well. So it's 48 hours for Nigeria to decide its fate. Come out and do your civic responsibility. I won't say you should vote twice. Some people would decide to choose not to vote twice that day. I won't tell you to vote for your conscience because some people don't have conscience at all. But vote for that person who is not ready to buy your vote. Anybody who is not ready to buy your vote is not seeing the presidency as a do or die affair. Anyone who is trying to buy your vote, the person is seeing it as a delay, his family inheritance. You just vote, collect your money, then you sold your 4 years. So come and do the right thing on Saturday. So we've come to the end of the program. Today you can do well to hit the like button, share, and also drop your comment. What are your hopes? What are your fears ahead of this election? Who do you think would emerge and why would the person emerge? How do you think the person would emerge? You can drop your comment as well. You can do well to also join Christian Chuku on the next program by standards. Till we come your way again tomorrow for another exciting edition of Lagos This Morning. I am Olajide Taufik Olamide.
I am Adeni Adela. Thanks for
Bye for now.
Bye.
100 naira, Eko. That's